What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over a video for the new raid, the Endor Raid. And I'm actually kind of shocked that I already have a video to talk about this early. But last night, last night I spent about 6 hours streaming one team. And we got progress, but holy moly, man, this raid is overly complicated. I mean, my advice to you guys is just wait for content creators and theory crafters to figure it out. Right now, just go and push auto. It sounds like bad advice, and I'm sure guild leads are hating me for saying that, but this raid is ridiculous. But I think it's going to be very, very, like, not easy, but I think it's going to be a lot quicker to do because it's going to be consistent. I've noticed out of my 6 hours of streaming, I remodded my team like 6 or 7 different times and different ways as well. But we were getting consistent scores whether we were trying or not trying. So I think go in and push auto for now. But we got 2.5, 2.4 on a bad run consistently with this team. So I was like, okay, let's make a video about it. 2.5 is pretty good. But my advice for people that are going to try and figure this out, like want to actually, solve stuff, is get a second monitor, like a cheat sheet to have your stats up, because obviously, guys, if you guys haven't read that really long post, the one where like everything's just worded super, just awful, just really wordy, where it's like remove stacks of damage for every stack of damage removed, and you're just repeating it sounds like a post that was written by like Kamala Harris. Anyways, get a second monitor, get a second phone, get a cheat sheet or something like that. That way you don't have to keep going back and forth from when you're remodding your characters, because you're going to mod your characters in such a weird way. Anyways, we're going to do a run live for you guys because that's how confident I feel in my team. And I'm going to kind of explain everything I can about this raid to make it easier to understand. So it might be a little bit longer of a video, but I want to show you guys that this raid is doable. It does make sense, unfortunately. And like I said, you just got to wait for people to crack the code. Once people figure out the best 8 teams to go in, or yeah, the best 8 teams, top 24, this raid's going to be pretty easy, I think. I really do. I think you just go in and you push the same 2 buttons. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, this is the team we're going to be running. Iden with the Scout, Omi, and Piet. I do have Colonel Stark. That's something I haven't tested yet, but I just took him to R8 this morning. But this is the team that I was running last night, and we're getting pretty consistent results. There are going to be a lot of different videos. I'm going to try and keep mine as simple as possible, so I'm only going to talk about my team, my strategy, and what I did. I know there's a whole lot of other mechanics, but there's so many mechanics in this raid. I'm going to just leave out whatever's not in the video. I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to leave it out. I'm going to try and keep it as simple for you guys as possible. We're just going to kind of give ourselves tunnel vision, just focus on this one team. Okay, so first of all, I want to go over the modding, and I want to explain how the modding works in this raid. So first and foremost, because this has been a question on everyone's mind, does speed matter? Yes, speed matters. We tested this last night in my stream. We had a scout trooper that was like 340 or 350 speed, and she ended up taking about 16 turns, and then I knocked about 100 speed off of her. The very next run, she only took 13 turns. So speed definitely matters. There is definitely turn order, which again, it sucks. But speed is not the issue. Speed is like the last thing you want to worry about. You want to hammer out, there's more important stats you want to hammer out, and I'm going to go over those. Another thing that's important is leaderships actually matter. They do important. These stats right here from Iden, that's why I'm running Iden's, because we get 35% crit chance, 35% offense, and her unique also applies as well. And Imperial Trooper allies get an additional, while she's active, they get an additional 30% offense. So that really helps bring up our offense because we need to make sure everyone's at 10k. That way we can do max damage. So leaderships and uniques do apply, guys. So keep that in mind when you're doing your stat calculation. Now going over to the stats, like I said, if you guys have a cheat sheet available, I would highly recommend keeping that tab open, because this raid is going to seem like up is down and down is up. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, the potency, tenacity, health seal, they all do different things in this raid. But again, I'm just going to focus on what I did for this team. So the first thing we wanted to do is make sure everyone is at 10k. Right now, obviously, she's not at 10k, but with her lead and with her unique, she will be at 10k. 10k is very important because that allows us to do max damage on our basic. Anything over 10k, it does not matter. So that's the nice thing about this raid, is once you get your mods dialed in for your team, everyone's going to be doing the same amount of damage, everyone's going to be, you know, gaining the same amount of stacks of evasion, and so on and so forth. So that's why I'm saying this raid looks like it's going to be pretty consistent. There is a little bit of RNG involved in the raid, but if you have max stats on a certain build, you can eliminate a lot of RNG. So we already have 10k offense. The next thing is we need to have max tenacity. Max tenacity, it caps out at 100%. The reason we want tenacity is because tenacity allows us to keep our stacks of evasion when we evade. So I don't have to worry about consuming those stacks, because those stacks can be very, very important in the run. Next, we have our crit damage. Crit damage maxed out at 220%. The reason you want crit damage to be maxed out is it kind of pairs the crit chance a little bit. Our crit chance is at 97, but thanks to Iden's lead, she gets 35% crit chance. It will be at 100%. So crit chance is you have a 25%, when it's maxed out, you have a 25% chance to reduce your cooldowns by 1 at the start of your turn. Crit damage is when it's maxed out at 220%, is you have, if your cooldowns do get reduced, you get 30% turn meter to that character. So they kind of combo off one another. I'm not super worried about health or protection, because we're going to be doing so much damage that we're actually going to be recovering any damage we take. Plus, this is an evasion build, so we're not really going to be taking a whole lot of damage at all. So we don't have to worry about health or protection at all. Speed, it's like once you get the important stats that I mentioned, like potency, tenacity, crit damage, crit chance, and your physical damage. Once you get those maxed out, then focus on speed, because speed does matter, but it's not as important as you think. It's kind of the last stat of your priority. So those are the stats I want. Iden. Here's my Scout Trooper. Scout Trooper, I kind of went a little bit more lax on a lot of the stats. I want my Scout Trooper to be fast, because I need Scout Trooper to take turns. Scout Trooper is the damage dealer for the team. Don't care about the crit damage, about the cooldown reduction. We do have the potency up there, so sure. Tenacity's capped out. This is 10k, by the way. It's thanks to Iden's lead and her unique, and then crit chance is also capped out. So those are the stats those are the ones we want. Piet, same thing. Piet, speed, a little bit on the slow side, excuse me, but tenacity is capped out. Our offense is capped out, and crit chance is a little bit low, but it's tough to get everything, but it's fine. We're fine. All right, so we're gonna do a run real quick right in front of you guys. I'm gonna explain everything about this build. I'm gonna explain how it works and pretty much your opening turns. So again, this is the first raid video, so I'm gonna be going kind of over everything. It might be a little bit slower, so I do apologize. But the one things we're gonna be focusing on, guys, is the stacks of damage. We're not gonna worry about sideswipe. We're not gonna worry about distract. We're not gonna worry about timber. Don't worry about those abilities, because we're not focusing on those. We're going to be focusing on the stacks of damage and our foresight. Our evasion. It's really frustrating, because evasion is the same icon as distract, but they're two different things. Anyways, our opening turn is going to be this button right here, evasive maneuvering. This is our ramp button, because the thing about Scout's Omi is Scout's Omi allows her to keep her stacks of evasion throughout the battle. Any extra stacks of evasion that you have, you deal more damage to the enemy. So since we have max offense on everybody, anytime we do a basic, we are going to be doing 20 stacks of damage to damage. Again, I really hate how wordy this is. It's like they got Kamala Harris to write it. It's just like we're repeating the same words. Anyways, I won't use that joke anymore in this video. We're going to be starting off by triple ramping on everybody. Okay, so now we all have all these stacks of evasion, right? We have 12 stacks of evasion on everybody. Key thing to note is you only consume stacks of evasion when you use your basic ability. However, for Scout, it doesn't apply. So Scout has 15 stacks of evasion here. We're going to go ahead and start popping these guys. And I'm going to give you guys kind of like the nicknames. I have my own little lingo now about this raid. So these are the recruits, obviously. So I just kind of call these guys what they call them. The recruits, the scouts, the commander, the shadow. In case, you guys need a reference. But we're going to basic here, so look at that. We just did, what is that, 59 on one basic. The next thing to note here, guys, is this ability here will not consume your stacks of evasion. So we're going to get rid of these guys first. And the thing about this raid, too, is you have to juggle the amount of characters you kill, because when you do kill characters, that is what increases your enrage timer. This raid, does feel like a bell curve for this team specifically, where we're going to start off with the recruits, then we're going to work our way up to the scouts, then the commanders, then the shadow, and then we want to work our way back down because these guys miss a lot more. So when we do hit the enrage phase, the only way I can get some extra damage is we just got to dodge. So let's go ahead and take this guy out. We'll just basic here. Alright. Okay, so now, as you can see, these guys are scouts. The way I can tell they're scouts is their speeder bike has changed, and also it says scout trooper. But there's some indicators, and like the commanders, they have the orange polder on their shoulder, and obviously the shadow guys are rocking all black. So we're just going to basic over here. We're going to go ahead and ramp. You almost ramp every time you can. And a lot of the times you want to try and get the kill with your scout trooper, because we want to keep our stacks here. Alright, so if you guys see, this buff here is called Jam. We had 5 stacks of it, now we're at 3. Jam, what Jam does is every time units get summoned, you lose stacks of Jam. But what it does is the more stacks you have, the easier units it's going to summon for you. So you do have some control of what you want to fight, but you don't want to fight recruits the whole time, because recruits don't reward as much points as the commander or the scout, this commander or the shadow do. But then those guys also give more enrage timer. So it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like a bell curve. It's kind of like a dance you want to do. But we're gonna go ahead and ramp here. We can kill this guy with an AOE, so I don't want to lose my stacks on Iden, so we'll go ahead and kill him with an AOE. Okay, we did a little bit of damage on to damage. Oh man, it's so, I don't know who wrote this, but you know, it is what it is. So we're going basic here. So we still have our stacks of evasion with Iden. Now here are the commanders. These guys are kind of like the sweet spot in my opinion. You get a good amount of rewards for them. All right, so usually at this point we can start two-shotting these guys, which is kind of nice. So we're going to continue to ramp here. I would highly recommend trying to pay attention as much to the little icon on the ground right here in front of Piet, because that's the only indicator of whose turn it is, because everyone's got the same abilities. So yeah, just try to keep an eye on that little blue circle on the ground. So we'll go ahead and basic here. This should kill him. Yep, two tap him. All right, basic again. And remember, guys, we're doing this much damage because we have max offense. We're at the 10k mark, and we do bonus damage for every stack of evasion that we have on our characters. So we're able to do this much damage with little to no effort. Now the shadow's going to come out, or not. That is the RNG part about this raid that's annoying. So even though I was only at 5 stacks, I've had him come out with where everyone has 7 stacks. So it's a little bit RNG, but that's okay. That's not a bad thing. I don't mind fighting 2 sets of commandos. So the other thing I want to talk about is, going back to the lingo I have discovered, is I always talk about upgrading and downgrading our troopers. So when we upgrade our troopers, that means we're going to the next tier of enemy, and then when we downgrade, that means we're going to go back. So you're going to hear me say that a lot, where I'm like, we need to upgrade, we need to downgrade. So right here, we're at the shadow. All right, so we're going to we should be able to 2-shot him, possibly, or we're going to 3-tap him. Yeah. All right, so we'll take him out with Scout. So now we're going to want to downgrade. So before we kill this guy, we need to start getting our stacks of jam. So we're going to do a triple ramp. We'll go ahead and... So this ability, the alongside him, only gives 1 stack of jam to that specific character. The other AoEs that I have, they give stacks of jam to everyone, which is kind of nice. So I'm actually just going to basic here. We're going to AoE once... We're going to take a log to the face. We're going to AoE again. So now we're at 7 stacks of jam. So we should not get a shadow. If we do, it's just bad RNG. We'll go ahead and use the middle ability here as well. Take him out. So we have another stack of jam. Bad RNG, but it's okay. We can figure this out. Alright, so we're going to basic. We'll basic him, knock him out. Okay, so here's the important thing to note, guys. So the enrage timer is at 96% right now. When we kill this guy, we're going to be at enrage. It's important to try to go into enrage with your stacks of jam. And I'm not talking about right here. I'm saying I wish I would have killed this guy earlier, because what happens is when you enrage, you lose all your buffs. When you lose all your stacks of jam, it's just going to throw another shadow or set of commanders at you. Again, RNG based, you could get some recruits, but it's highly unlikely. So I'm going to go ahead and just... what do we want to do here? We can just basic, I guess. Alright. And then we do have our evasions ready off cooldown, so that's pretty much how we get our score. We just want to evade at the end and try to squeeze as much points out as possible before we lose. So we're going to basic here because I don't want to use her evade ability. So now we're in rage. Okay, cool, we got lucky. So we got a recruit and a scout. So we want to kill the scout first because he's got a higher chance to hit you. The recruits will miss. But again, you'll see how RNG based is. I've had a recruit kill all 3 of my characters when we had like 10 stacks of evasion, which is like, I don't know. It is what it is. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and start ramping. We are going to basic. We have to kill him first. And then here's the other thing, too, is when you're in this mode, this phase, you have to get your stacks of jam. You absolutely have to because you'll immediately go into commanders or shadow right after. And you're kind of screwed at that point because they don't miss and they have like unavoidable AoEs. So we might be able to get him out. Yeah. Alright, so that sucks. I'm going to go ahead and do an AoE here. Okay, we should have the left one out. And then we should be able to evade a little bit more possibly. And the thing is, also with evasion, guys, it says you get points for evading. You don't get points for when you actually evade the attack. You get points for when you use the ability evasive maneuver. So if you look at my score right now, we just got points there. And we didn't evade, which sucks. So we'll go ahead and... I mean, what the hell can we do here? We can't kill him, I don't think. I mean, if we dodge, we can kill him. So we'll basic. And we're dead. So 2.4. You know, while trying to make a video. I don't think that's terrible. I'll do one more run super fast though because I'm kind of addicted to this raid because I want to get that max score. But we'll do one more run without me talking. I mean, or slowing down to explain things. But it's pretty consistent, and hopefully I can get it where we only fight one shadow and then we can start to downgrade again. Again, downgrading is just scaling back on the troops that we're fighting. So we'll go in with the triple ramp here. Alright, basic, 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 and then we'll ramp. We actually had a ramp available, but I passed on it, which is fine. Triple ramp again? Nice. Alright, we'll take out the scout first. That's fine. Let's go ahead and... Well, basic. I don't think we need a ramp right now. Let's just force the next phase. Alright, now we got the commanders. Alright, there we go. You can start ramping. Yeah, let's knock one out. Alright. And the other thing, too, is I think when you go to this first set of commanders, I think you're guaranteed a shadow. No, not guaranteed, but, like, your stacks of jam don't apply till after you fight that first shadow, something I noticed. So if I wanted to, I can actually save my stacks here on Piet. So he only has 4, but we'll go ahead and save him. Alright, we'll go ahead and ramp. Take a log to the face. We'll basic. Basic again. And then we should be able to ramp with Piet. Alright, cool. There's a shadow. So ramp with Piet. So we should be able to actually two-shot this shadow. So we'll go 1, 2. 1. And then we got to build our stacks of jam before we kill this guy. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll do our AoE. So now we're at 7 stacks. We'll just basic. I trust the game. It's not going to screw me over. So it should be another set of commanders. Good. It was. Alright. Ramp again. We're going to two-shot both these guys. So we'll go 1, 2. And then we got to get our stacks of jam back up. We want to go back down to the recruit and the scout, essentially. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and AoE one more time. Let's go ahead and ramp. 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 Okay, so we're going to go into the next phase with a lot of extra offense. So it's really cool if we can get this to line up where Scout Trooper can get the kill, because that way Iden and Piet don't lose their stacks of evasion. We'll basic here with the Scout because he doesn't lose... Or he doesn't lose her, or she doesn't lose her stacks thanks to the Yomi. And it should be recruiting a scout now. Yep, recruiting a scout. Okay, so now we're going to basic here. We actually can one-shot these guys, which is kind of nice. So they're weak enough where we don't have to worry about them. Let's get our... yeah, let's go ahead and basic. It should be another recruit and scout. Yep. Oh, 2 recruits. That's even better. Okay, so we need to kill one ASAP, because what I want to do is I want to force us into the enraged phase. That way we're not entering a phase losing all of our buffs. Like, we already have the weak recruits, but we still have to kill one. which is not hard. Okay, so now we're going to hit evasion, evasion, evasion. RNG based. It's RNG based. We'll go ahead and basic. And then, ugh. It's tough. Tough call here. Basic, or do we do the AoE? I think we have to roll the dice and put the AoE. Alright, cool. He dodged. That's good. We do have our stacks of jam. We don't have a lot of jam, but we'll basic again. Let's get the kill. So we're at 2.2. Oh, now we're screwed. So anytime you get the Shadow or the Commanders, you're just screwed because at this point, we don't have enough damage ramped on our Scout. Only 15 stacks evade because we lose them all in Rage. So there's not much we can do here other than just, at this point, just use your evasion ability to get some extra points. And then, yeah, they're both dead. So that was kind of a you know, not as good of a run, but you can see it's consistent within that window of like 2.2, 2.5 is on like a really, really good good run. But you know, it's pretty close. It's pretty close, guys. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys learned something. And like I said, just wait for people to figure this out. This took me 6 hours to like perfect in a way where I can get it consistently. And I mean, just a hard 6 hours of remodding for 3 characters, which is ridiculous in my opinion. Just absolutely ridiculous. I hope, you know, everyone can kind of do their part and everyone can figure out how to do like at least one team or something like that, and then we can just put all of our guides together. But you know, I got my one team. You can swap Piet out for other options, but it's again within that window of 2.2 to 2.5. Obviously, if you save Piet, that gives you another lead that you can use, which is kind of cool. But if you guys have any comments or ideas, please let me know down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please drop me a like, and if I earned it, subscribe. And other than that, guys, be safe, have a great day, have a great weekend, it's just Friday, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.